All right, welcome back into another edition of the Mark O'Brien Show, keeping up with Conqueror Athletics. And Coach, been an interesting couple of weeks for you. The positive thing is you weathered the storm. You had 2 weeks off to get back out on the field. How special was it to get out there and hit someone with different colored uniforms and jerseys and helmets than you've had on and actually play a football game?
Yeah, it was good to get back out there on Friday night.
Yeah, I know the 2 weeks. Just walk us through these 2 weeks as far as how you kept the guys focused, how you kept the guys' preparation and things going, because, you know, you had some things going on off the field, but you had the guys dialed in last Friday night. So how did you do that over the course of these last 2 weeks?
Well, I believe, you know, the coaches have done a good job of keeping their focus, but this team's unlike, I've done this 20 years, bro. This team's unlike any other team I've ever coached. I've always prided myself on telling these guys the absolute truth. All right. And so when you do that, and when you throw them curveballs, they can handle the curveballs because they're used to you telling them the truth. And these kids, you hardly have to coach them anymore. All right. They're so locked in and so dialed in, and they're on a mission. And so life gets pretty easy to coach them when it's like that.
Yeah. Now, I think you're at the point that you have to verify this. Even if you didn't show up or Teddy didn't show up, I think those guys would probably run practice themselves.
Ain't no doubt.
And you got leadership that would actually hold people accountable at that practice. They just wouldn't be going through the motions. Correct?
Ain't no doubt.
How special is that?
It's rare. It's rare.
Throughout your career, have you had that before?
Yeah, I've had it once before, but nothing to this level. But once I've had it before, we had it at Oxford with me and John, but we were full of seniors.
Yeah.
This team's full of juniors.
That's correct.
So that there lies the difference. And this team's just a special group of guys, man.
When you individualize some of those guys, I mean, there's tons of leaders on this team. Who were the cream of the crop, the upper 1% of guys that really just take the bull by the horns?
Too many to name, Bo.
Really?
Yep. It's the majority. And that's what
really
makes
good.
this team unique, because usually there's 3 or 4 guys that's going to lead a team. I don't think I've ever been on a team where it's a majority of kids.
Yeah, no, that's what I've noticed about this group of guys. But it ain't just out there on the field. You can go watch them on Monday through Monday when they're working out, or when they're loading stuff up, when they're getting on and off the bus. You got guys holding guys accountable across the board.
Yep.
That's very special.
Yep.
But then you mix that in with a young group of guys, all the way as young as, Kylan, all the way in 8th grade. But you got guys that young who sees this, who's going through these reps and these trials and tribulations in that weight room, over here in the school, in the classrooms, and doing things the right way. When you put all that into a pot and mix it together, I think it's a recipe for success. Do you agree with that?
1,000%. And even, you take one like Colin, who's so young, he's 13 years old, unbelievable athlete. You know that. It was like we played a ball game Monday against Cherokee County. And I think we were losing 20-19. And he comes over and he says, we're at the 20-yard line with a minute to go in the game. He said, Coach, just put me at quarterback and give me the ball. He says,
like turn him loose?
Yeah. And so we're like, Colin, you sure? He's like, Coach, I got this. Just put me in at quarterback. We was at a timeout. He says, I'll score. He says, I'll probably score in the first play. And he did, and it got called back. He's like, I said, what about receiver? He said, now keep me at quarterback, Coach. Kept me at quarterback, and we end up winning the game. And that's not like a 13-year-old, that's not like a typical.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
But for those who do not know, let's talk about that JV schedule a little bit. You're not playing 1A teams per se. I mean, you've played 6A teams.
Yeah.
You played Fort Payne. Was it Fort Payne?
Yeah, we played Fort Payne. Yep.
Yeah. So then you're playing Cherokee County.
Yeah.
Talk about that JV schedule a little bit.
It was brutal. I mean, I think this was the second best junior high team we've had since I've been here. This 11th grade group was the best one. Okay. But this one's in that zip code.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's really, really special. I mean, we played Geraldine and Sylvania and Cherokee County and Fort Payne. And
we're talking powerhouse programs.
Yeah.
Five?
Five. We played 5. We played 8 games total. So, but we went 6-2. In one of those games we lost to, we played their JV. So we played their 9th, 10th, 11th, while we played 7th, 8th, 9th. So I really don't count that as a loss.
Yeah.
So
count it as a learning experience.
Yeah.
That's great. Last week you got the victory over Cedar Bluff, and a lot of eyes were on that game because it was the first time you guys had been out and back on the field in 2 weeks, but you guys performed very well. How good was that to not only get back in here, but get a region win?
I mean, that's what we got to do, right?
It's playoff time now.
Yeah, so we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I don't really care about feelings too much. I'm not much into the feeling thing. We just got to go play ball.
What about, Appalachian earlier this year was really rolling and they had an unfortunate injury. It's kind of derailed their season somewhat, but they're still a dangerous team. Talk about Appalachian, what you know about those guys.
Well, I'm buddies with their head coach, and I talked to one of their assistants this morning. And so he called me, actually. So head coach and I've talked a good bit. And so, I know they'll bring their A game. I mean, they're fighting for a seeding too,
That's correct.
So it's really down, now that Decatur's got the 1 seed and Valley Head's got the 2 seed. Now the 3, 4, 5 seeds on the line.
Right.
Okay, so we're fighting for a 3 seed. Appalachian's fighting for a 3 seed, and Woodville's fighting for a 3 seed. And the team that wins those is going to be the 3 seed.
Right.
And then the team that wins head to head is going to be the 4 seed, and the odd man's out.
Yeah.
So we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. It's a playoff picture is definitely as clear as day now.
Yep.
Actually, the playoffs has already started for you guys. So it's good, but I've seen it done in basketball before, so it has to be done here in football. That's why, Coach. Coming into this week, I do believe, and I hate to hear this news or report it, but Appalachian had a death in their school. Is that correct?
I heard about that as well. I didn't talk to the coach about that, but I did read that, and it's very sad.
Yeah, our condolences and prayers go out to their school and staff, and obviously the family of the affected.
Absolutely.
Because anytime you see that in the high school atmosphere, you had a game canceled this year because of it, unfortunately.
Yep, we did.
Anytime anybody dies, it's bad, but when it's somebody young, it's really bad.
Yep.
So 100%. Community support. You always want to do the right things with that, and prayers and anything we could do at Average Joe's to help, or
or the school, our school. Yeah. I mean, we're I know Amanda. She'd be down with whatever support they need as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and that goes from all ends. We hate that for sure, and very sorry to hear that.
Yep.
It's
bad
deal.
Coach, anything else you'd like to add to this week's show? Anything fans need to know about travel? What time you guys are departing?
I've not even looked at my travel schedule yet. It's already done. Coach Crane has it. He's
what would you do without him?
I'd be in trouble.
He's working right now. Actually,
he's my director of football ops, and he's a big time blessing in my life because Bo, this, I'm really unorganized. Like, I'm not unorganized in my brain.
Well, you did get Pepsi. That's a positive.
Yeah, I'm very organized in my brain, but I don't do a good job of putting it to paper and then following through with it. Yeah. And so, without him, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah,
for sure.
He does a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually working when I came over here. He's always got some kind of something on his desk. He's working through something. Any final thoughts? Is that it?
I don't have anything else.
You ready to roll?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Coach, you guys are on the road to Appalachian this week. Obviously, we've had a big crowd this last Friday night here at Coosa, and we'd love to see everyone else travel up to Appalachian, obviously.
Let me say that.
Yeah.
We've been blessed now. These fans have traveled with us.
Yep.
And they've showed up at these games. I mean, our stands are full every Friday.
That's good.
So I'm grateful to the following that we have. Okay. And we appreciate that. And it doesn't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
All right. And so we're grateful for that.
That's right. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's the blood to your program is getting people to come watch your product and getting eyeballs on your product. And, that's how you're allowed to get the new uniforms and the different things is support.
Ain't no doubt.
Well, I think that's it, Coach.
Thank you,
Coach. We're going to shut it down, and we'll be back here next week, God willing, with another edition of the Coach Mark O'Brien Show. Thank you, guys.